You're listening to the Think Unbroken podcast, where our mission is to give you the tools to heal, overcome the past, get unstuck, and become the hero of your own story. I'm your host, Michael Unbroken, author, speaker, coach, and advocate for adult survivors of childhood trauma. It's our mission to end generational trauma in our lifetime through education and information. Thank you so much for being here, being a member of the Unbroken Nation, and learning how to become unbroken. Please do me a favor. It would mean the world to me if you take 30 seconds, leave a review for the show on iTunes so that other people can find this information, and check out our YouTube channel if you just search Think Unbroken. Thank you for being here. We'll see you in the show. You're going to hear me talk about this a lot as we go through this coaching course and through these sessions and through the live and the one-on-one and the exercises and everything that we do. And that is understanding why you are here. I think one of the things that happens is we often sign up for these courses. We do 1 or 2 days, we do a week. Sometimes we pay $100, sometimes we pay 100,000, right? We put ourselves in these positions to be successful, but we don't follow through. Do you know why people don't follow through? Because they haven't identified why they're doing the work, right? Because I want you to think about this. At your job, at the place where you work, in your career, in your business, if you're an entrepreneur, whatever it is, your why is tied to your paycheck, to your livelihood, to supporting your family, to supporting yourself, things of that nature. And there's that intrinsic thing that we do in which we rationalize the idea that the hours that we put in equals this output, which helps us have sustainability, right? Money for food, money for gas, money for this, money for that, money, right? It's really kind of what it is when it comes to work. We sit down and we go, why do I need to work? Because I need money. Well, easy, right? Well, why are you here? Why are you in this room right now? Why are you in coaching? Why are you doing the hardest thing that you may ever do in your life and learning what's to come? Like, why are you doing that? And I think about this, and it might help me. It might help you if I give you a little bit of my experiences and identifying why in a way that became not only practical, but it became a cornerstone. And I don't mean why as why I coach, because ultimately my why for coaching is really simple. I want to end generational trauma. It's that simple. How do you do that? This coaching, helping people, creating a trickle down effect, ending the cycle. But in the beginning, my why was very simple. I looked at my life and I said to myself, man, you're really fucked up right now. You're in a dark place. There's some really awful things happening. You're not taking care of yourself, your body, your people, your relationships, your community, and you're destroying everything in your path. And I didn't understand at the time that it was very much because of the traumatic experiences that I had. And so as I got into the journey of healing, I was reading the books, I was going to the conferences, I was going to therapy, I was going to NA and SA and all the A's, doing the entirety of this trauma healing journey. And then it struck me one day as I was deep into this, and this was probably, call it 6 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. I was in this position where I was looking at my life and I was thinking to myself, all right, you've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now. You're going and doing all the things. You spend all your money on trying to heal. You're going and just like in it. But why? What are you doing this for? And that's the question that I want to ask you. And it's the question that you need to ask yourself. What are you doing this for? Why are you doing this? And for me, what happened in that moment of reflection and measuring my life of where I was and what I wanted is I recognized that the one thing that was driving me is because I had promised myself as a child that I was never going to live a life like the life that I was living. Hey, Unbroken Nation, we'll be right back to the show, but I wanted to let you know that you can grab a copy of my first book, Think Unbroken, Understanding and Overcoming Childhood Trauma, for free. If you go to book.thinkunbroken.com, you can download the PDF ebook version of the book and get everything that I know about the baseline of healing trauma for free, downloaded to your email right now. Just go to book.thinkunbroken.com to download your copy of Think Unbroken, Understanding and Overcoming Childhood Trauma for a PDF for your phone. Again, that is book.thinkunbroken.com. And I was reflecting on that and really deep within the thought and taken back to this moment where at 7 years old, being homeless, at 9 years old, being homeless, at 12 years old, doing drugs, at 15 years old, getting expelled from school, at 18 years old, not graduating from high school, and so on and so forth, and thinking about man, all of these promises you broke to yourself, all these you said all these things you were going to do. You were going to be great. You were going to, not be homeless anymore. You were going to make money. You were going to be a person who impacted the world for the better. You were going to do all these things. And yet I constantly found myself sabotaging, destroying, getting in my own way, and then blaming it on my trauma. I was blaming it on the past. This is who I'm supposed to be, right? You may relate to this. I would sit there and go, this is who I'm supposed to be. Clearly, look what everyone else told me. I'm being exactly what they are. And in that, what I understood about myself was I was making excuses. And that kind of started the catapult to getting into things, right? And you may know my story. And when we get into the course, I'm going to dive into it in a deeper way than I ever have, so you really can understand the depths of this journey. But about 5 years ago, I was looking at my life and going to therapy every Wednesday night, every Thursday night. It was like back to back. And then I was going to the gym all the time. I was doing all this work, right? Reading books till the middle of the night, journaling all day, really kind of trying to bring all this stuff together. And what happened is what I mentioned a moment ago, I recognized and I understood that my why was when I was a little kid, when I was this tiny, small, hurt, fragile little human being, I promised myself when I'm a grown up, that's the only thing I ever wanted to do as a kid. I was like, oh, when I'm a grown up, right? You probably relate to this too. I'd be like, this is what I want. I want this life of peace and happiness and love and prosperity and joy and hope and compassion and grace. And I didn't give myself any of those things. And 5 years ago, I said, that is why. That is why I'm doing this, because I deserve to have all those things that I did not get as a child, but more so all the things that I promised myself I would have. And so if you're in this place where you're trying to figure out what's really going on and why you're here, I want you to take some time and just reflect and think about it. Why are you here? What is it that you want from yourself on the backside of this? What do you owe yourself? What do you deserve to give yourself through this? It may be love or compassion or to stop self-sabotaging, but it might be something different. It might be so you can learn to be a better parent because you understand emotions better. It might be so you can be a better employee or employer. There's so many different areas in which this can be a leverage point for what's next in your life. And I want you to think about it. Really take some time here and evaluate, what is your why? What is it that's driving you right now? Because that thing today can carry you into the future. And I want to be clear about something because this can get really easily misconstrued. Your why is your why. It's not anyone else's. It's not about your kids. It's not about your employees. It's not about your husband or wife. It's not about your cousin or your best friend. It is about you and you alone, because ultimately nobody lives for you. Nobody breathes for you. Nobody loves for you. No one is going to do this work that's ahead. No one signed up for this. You did. You put yourself behind your computer or your phone. You put in all the information. You put in your credit card. You said, let's see what happens. And now you are the one in control of everything that's next. So this why, this leverage point, and mine was looking at my life as a child and going, that's what I want as an adult. And now as an adult, my why, it's still very much about me. I don't know how to make this not sound odd, but realistically, my why of ending generational trauma is selfish because I want to put myself out of a job. I don't want to have a career in this space. You know what I mean? It's deeper than that. I'll explain it more when we have time together. But really, that's what it's about. How do I empower the world to take care of itself so ultimately I become obsolete? That's my why. And so as you're in this and you're thinking about your why, make it about you. It is okay to put yourself first. I'm giving you permission right now. Everything that we do from this moment forward is about you first. So take some time, name that why, and share it with the community. Thank you so much for listening to Think Unbroken. Please share this episode with someone who could use it and help us move forward in our mission of ending generational trauma in our lifetime. And if you would, please take 5 seconds to pop on iTunes or Spotify, hit that 5-star, leave a review, and you can also reach out to us on social at Michael Unbroken or at Think Unbroken. And of course, you can check out our YouTube channel at Think Unbroken. Thank you for being a part of Unbroken Nation, my friends, and until next time, be unbroken.